The night of my law school graduation party. As champagne glasses clinked and friends cheered my bright future in a Denver high-rise, I slipped away to the old ranch house an hour northwest in the Rockies foothills. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and earth that had grounded me through years of abandonment. My grandparents, George and Eleanor Hayes, sat at the worn kitchen table, their faces etched with the quiet resolve of folks who'd weathered droughts, blizzards, and a son's betrayal. "Emily," George said, his voice gravelly from 82 years of barking orders at cattle hands. "We're doing this tonight. No more waiting." I nodded, pulling out the trust documents I'd drafted in secret. By dawn, the 500-acre spread, valued at over $5 million with its ancient water rights and developer dream views, had been locked into an irrevocable trust, with me as the sole trustee. They never saw it coming. My so-called family, the ones who dumped me here like forgotten baggage when I was 8, chasing pipe dreams that always crashed and burned. This wasn't revenge. Not yet. It was survival. Born from the scars of watching them circle like sharks, waiting for George and Eleanor to die so they could carve up the land that had saved me. I was Emily Carter, 28, fresh out of the University of Colorado's law program. Not the polished attorney type headed for corporate mergers, no. My education was a weapon forged in the fire of family neglect. Michael and Sarah Hayes, my parents, had left me with my grandparents after their first flop, a failed diner in Albuquerque that sucked their savings dry. "Just till we get steady, kiddo," Michael had mumbled, avoiding Eleanor's piercing gaze. That tilt stretched into eternity. They bounced to Seattle for a tech gadget scam that fizzled. Then Orlando for some import hustle that drew IRS heat but no charges. By the time my half-brother Ryan arrived when I was 11, they'd written me off entirely. Ryan was their do-over, the golden child they paraded while I mucked stalls and learned ranch life. The Hayes Ranch wasn't just dirt, it was 500 acres of hard-won pride, grazing land that George had built from nothing into a respected operation. "Honesty's your currency," Eleanor would whisper while teaching me to balance the books. "Lose that, and you're bankrupt for life." Money ebbed and flowed. But trust? That was eternal. The lesson hit home at 16, when I saw the neighboring Millers lose their spread to their own daughter. She'd sweet-talked them into signing over power of attorney for expansion loans, only to flip it to condo builders for millions. Mr. Miller drank himself to death in a subsidized apartment. Mrs. Miller faded away, her spirit shattered. "That's why you're going to law school," Eleanor had said, catching me poring over a borrowed book on estate law. "Knowledge is the best fence against thieves, even the ones sharing your blood." George grumbled about lawyers being slicker than greased pigs, but they scraped together tuition for my undergrad at Colorado State. Then law school. "Investing in the ranch's future," he'd mutter, signing checks during lean years when beef prices tanked. It was during my second year that the vultures started hovering. Michael and Sarah, absent for over a decade, suddenly materialized for family dinners. Michael probing casually about land appraisals, Sarah faking compliments on Eleanor's apple pie with eyes cold as winter frost. Ryan, now 19 and aimless post-high school, wandered the boundaries snapping pics on his phone. "Since when do you give a damn about fencing?" I snapped at Michael one evening, finding him rifling through George's old survey maps. "Just appreciating our roots." He replied with that oily charm. "This place belongs to all of us, right?" The emphasis on all twisted my gut like barbed wire. This from the man who'd skipped my prom because of a surefire Vegas investment that vanished like smoke. The one who'd borrowed $25,000 from George and Eleanor for my college fund at 13, only to pour it into another bust. But the real awakening came overhearing Ryan on a call near the hayloft, Doc says Grandpa's ticker's at 35%. Couple years tops. Bro. Then we liquidate. Liquidate. Like the ranch was stock. Not the soil that had fed generations. My blood ran cold. This wasn't idle talk. It was a countdown. That night, the decision crystallized. If they wanted to treat legacy like loot, I'd use every legal trick I'd learned to fortify the walls. Their visits ramped up in my final year, every weekend. Armed with supermarket desserts and feigned worry. Dad looks worn out, Michael would announce loudly, eyeing George's slight limp from old arthritis. Maybe time for assisted living? Let fresh blood handle the heavy lifting. George would snort, cranking the TV louder on his Broncos game. But I saw the vein pulsing in his temple. At 82, he was fading physically, but his mind cut sharper than a branding iron. He knew the score. Sarah's reconnaissance was bolder. I caught her snapping pics of financial ledgers in the office. Just tidying up, she cooed, pocketing her phone. Your grandpa's system is chaos. That chaos built this place, I shot back, watching her mask crack. And none of it's your concern. Everything here is our concern, she hissed, venom slipping through. Michael's their only son. Ryan dropped pretense altogether. I found him FaceTiming in the tool shed. Lower Field could hold 50 McMansions easy. Ditch the old sheds, who needs them? He froze seeing me, hanging up fast. Builder buddy? I asked coolly. He shrugged, exploring potentials. This stump's worth more paved over than pastured. This stump isn't yours to pave. Not yet, he smirked. But blood trumps squatters' rights. That evening, thin walls betrayed their guest room whispers through the vents. Hearts failing faster, Michael murmured. Push harder, what if they cut us out for her? Won't happen, Sarah soothed. Old school types pass to sons. Plus, our caring visits build the narrative. Narrative, Ryan echoed. If the will's wrong, we can test competency, Sarah explained. Paint her as the isolator. Us as the devoted kin. Papers shuffled. Comps show $5.5 million easy, split 3 ways after fees. Enough to escape this grind, Michael dreamed. What they denied us by clinging to this relic. Nausea hit like a gut punch. They weren't mourning, they were marking calendars. Every hug, every help with chores, was intel for plunder. Breakfast next morning revealed their theater, Michael offering doctor runs, Sarah fussing over Eleanor's joints, Ryan feigning interest in ranch lore, not for sentiment, but scouting. Hands shaking more. Dad, Michael noted pointedly. Age happens to those who stick around, George quipped, landing the jab. Michael flushed but grinned. Just care. Pop. After they peeled out for the city, Eleanor stared down the drive. They're scavenging already. Think we're blind? Why not call them out? I asked. Blood's thick, she sighed. We pray for change. But prayer ain't protection. She straightened. Time for legal shields. That sparked the shift. I looped in my mentor, Victoria Lang. A Denver estate was from my internship. We met discreetly downtown. Irrevocable trust, she outlined. Assets locked in. You as trustee and beneficiary. Untouchable post setup. George fidgeted. Feels like disowning my boy. It's safeguarding your sweat, Victoria countered. Emily decide shares. But no probate wars. I laid out proof. Ryan's text to a subdivider plotting lots, Michael's emails on flipping farms, Sarah's notebook jotting, death contest sale by fall. Eleanor's pallor deepened, George's fists clenched. Treating us like ticking investments. I played the covert recording of their competency plot. Silence crushed the room. Set it up, George growled finally. All in land. Gear. Funds. Sure. Harold. Eleanor whispered. He eyed me. Emily's here seasons in. Seasons out. Fixed fences. Birth calves. Michael's ghost till value spiked. Better conservation easement than strip malls. 3 weeks of ironclad paperwork followed. Victoria dotted every I, transfers notarized. Witnesses galore. I added a no development clause, AGs only. Or conservation gift. Boxing yourself in, she warned. Some boxes are sanctuaries, I replied. Recalling the miller's ruin. Signing happened midweek. Dodging Michael's patterns. Tell them. Eleanor fretted post-signature. Nah, George said. Let em plot. Truth hits harder delayed. County filing lagged digitally. We had weeks before snoopers spotted. I armored up, cams everywhere. Logs of my ranch contributions. Affidavits from locals on Michael's vanishing act. War prep, Victoria noted. They fired first. 2 weeks post-trust. Michael rang rare, Post-grad loans biting? Consult for me fat pay. Estate stuff for the folks. What kind? Planning tweaks. Ensure wishes stick. Audacity floored me. He sought my aid in theft. Mullet, I said flatly. Cool, mum's the word. Yeah? No stressing, Hanging up. I stared at trust copies. Wolf met shepherd with fangs. Graduation bash bloomed at the ranch, neighbors. Classmates toasting. Michael. Sarah. Ryan played proud kin. Waxing on my corporate climb. I smiled through. Knowing victory sealed. 6 months on. George's heart quit in his sleep. Eleanor beside him. Me reciting market reports. Guard it all. And her. Funeral swelled with community. Michael's eulogy stole anecdotes from my life with George. Eleanor lingered 3 months. Pneumonia the excuse. Heartbreak the truth. Her final grip, don't let hate rot you. Michael's chains are his. Protect. But forgive. She slipped away serene. Alone. The ranch echoed hollow. I wandered fences. Absorbing lessons in solitude. Michael and Sarah barged in post-funeral. Ryan lagging. Holding up. Sweetie. Sarah oozed. Eyes inventoried antiques. We're bunking in sorta state. No need. Nonsense, Michael boomed. Big calls ahead. Through glass. A sleek Escalade idled, developer pal Lucas Grant. Infamous for farmland flips. He leaves now. Rude. Michael chided. Lucas advises options. $5 mil minimum, fair split. I barked a laugh, you're fair. Masks shattered. I'm air, Michael snarled. Any tweaks? Competency fog from meds. Your angle. Docs prove decline. Your isolation. From the son who ghosted till appraisal soared? We built lives, he spat. Not freeloading on millions. Worked every inch here. As charity case, Ryan sneered. Out, I commanded. Your house. Sarah mocked. Trespassers. They stormed off. Ryan yelling, bulldozers next month. George's safe held Eleanor's note. Be fierce. But whole. Land chose you. War loomed. 3 days later. Reinforcements, Michael's ride. Graves' luxury sedan. They cornered me in the barn. MS. Carter, Graves intoned. We're contesting undue influence. Incapacity. Proof. Wills spanning years to Michael. Prepped a decade? Safeguarding, Sarah interjected. Ryan filmed, 4 threats. Fraudulent will? I countered. Quoting Michael's gloating email. Graves faltered. Michael's denials rang hollow. Hearsay, Graves rallied. Your isolation's documented. 6 visits in 15 years? Quality counts, Sarah smirked. They'd prepped. But missed the twist. Sue away, spend fortunes. But explain contesting non-estate assets. Blank stares. Trust transferred all 2 years back, competent. Witnessed. Impossible, Michael blustered. Graves scrolled records. Deflating, ironclad. Fight it, Sarah demanded. Burdens crushing, Graves admitted. Failing. Ryan smashed his phone, $6 mill gone. You stole it, Michael accused. Protected from grave robbers. They fled. But defeat bred desperation. I bolted locks. Upped cams. Fortification ensued. Ex-FBI buddy Hank rigged full surveillance. Law pals war-roomed, affidavits stacked. Decisions logged. Restraining, wait for their slip. Kyle's break-in triggered, cams caught him rifling. Stealing decoys. Sheriff nabbed him, Michael raged. No charges if no trespass signed. They bit. Unaware leverage gained. Suit followed, tortious interference. Elder abuse. Ugly ahead, Victoria warned. Dig away, I'm clean. Grandpa's hidden USB surfaced, videos chronicling Michael's flaws. Affirming my role. Sound mind, Emily earns it with heart. Michael? Disappointment. Dozens more, testimony eternal. October 15th, Dawn Frosty. Anniversary of Michael's developer outreach. Convoy arrived, family. Graves. Movers. Truck. Mine countered, sheriff. Victoria. Team. News van. Neighbors. Possession time, Michael declared. Ex parte injunction. Victoria scoffed, faked, judge retired. Graves blanched. Duped. Movers halted, Ryan fumed. I broadcast George's voice, vultures circling. Trust my last stand. Clips exposed plots. Neighbors vouched, Emily's true heir. Sheriff evicted, debts unraveled Michael's facade. Destroyed us. Sarah wailed. Greed did. Weeks later. I gifted 1 acre, Rocky Creek spot of Michael's boyhood lessons. Not trick, Grandma's mercy. Remember fool's gold. Silence. Then Michael's choked recall. They never touched it. But signs appeared, paths. Blooms. Bench. Ghosts of regret. Ranch flourished, sustainable ops. Scholarships in George and Eleanor's name. Debts buried Michael in bankruptcy, Arizona schemes beckoned. Ryan's outreach? Ignored, ashes warmer than scorched ties. 2nd anniversary. Ashes under ancient oak, promise kept. Final video, proud. Daughter in truth. Best revenge? Prove worth beyond price. Tears fell grateful. Ranch endures my wealth and purpose. Not profit. Greed's cost? Souls sold cheap. Legacy? Priceless. Unsellable.